Back again for another feature here on Warchant TV, where the All-22 is going to tell us the story. The eye in the sky does not lie, and that is why we have Dominic Robinson, lead football analyst here at Warchant.com and Warchant TV. And Dominic, today we're talking about Memphis, and we're going to be getting pretty much straight into the film here as you're talking about specific plays on both sides of the ball, one-on-ones, and today we start with the defense. So what is it that you saw in preparation for this feature, and what are some things that Florida State is going to need to correct again this week?
Yeah, I think the big thing that I want today to kind of show is that there's only so much you can do from a scheme standpoint. There's only so much you can do from a motivational standpoint. When we sit down as coaches, on the weekend and we develop a game plan, the plan is always based on the thought that certain guys at certain moments are going to win their one-on-ones. And really what football is all, sort of boiled down to in the end is how many players win their one-on-ones. The great players win their 1.5 on ones or their 2 on ones. And the guys who do that the most are the guys who win football games. And, what's really discouraging about, this game in particular is this isn't Ed Reed's Miami. This isn't, Trevor Lawrence's Clemson. You have to be able to line up if you're Florida State against Memphis and know you're going to win more than half of your one-on-ones. And so the film is just going to show. The first one I have is the first couple of clips will be defense. The first one is a third down in the first quarter, early in the first quarter. You're going to get a trips motion, a trips nub into a motion. So now you're getting your one-on-one here at the bottom of the screen. Again, it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and long. We get an in-breaking route. It's easy completion. And not only do we give up the first down, you give up 9 additional yards. So now you're in the tight red zone. You're on the 5. The percentages of team scoring where the down a distance is 1st and 5, or 1st and goal from the 5 is very high. You got to win that one-on-one. Here's another one a little bit later, another 3rd down. Got another trip snub formation. Now this one is extra frustrating. Actually, this isn't a 3rd down because this is a one on none. You're going to have an unblocked defensive end right here, number 13. As a defensive coach, there's just you're just besides yourself. There's no words to describe. You have 2 unblocked guys here, both 13 and 12 are unblocked behind the line of scrimmage, and it ends in a 12-yard gain. Okay, here's you have your all-world defensive end here on a 3rd down. So this is a big opportunity to get a stop here.
Good jump.
Gets a great jump and then gives absolutely nothing. Just stands and watches. 23 is in his one-on-one, and he gets beat. Now this is the only deep ball that you give up, but that's been very indicative of this season. It's when it's like anything that can go wrong does. And so it's like, hey, here's the one time that this guy gets beat, but he also doesn't get help from his pass rush. I think it's important to note here too, if you watch the offensive line, because a lot of people will say, oh, they're doubling Patrick Payton or they're sliding to him or something. The 3 technique and the 5 technique here, they're going to slide to him. That means that the 1 technique here and the 5 technique here, which is number 11, they both have one-on-ones. Now he's going to get a back that shows a little bit, but if I'm sitting in the room on a Sunday or a Saturday and I'm scheming up, this is the exact blocking scheme that I want. I want 61 and 11 matched up to the field, and I'm expecting him to win, and I'm expecting a little bit better effort than that. And 23 is not in bad position. The guy just makes a play, and that's, again, it's indicative of the season. Here's your super mesh. I'm sure the message boards were going crazy with mesh. They actually didn't run rail on this one. The back got caught up, and they did a good job. But we're in man coverage here, which mesh is really good for man coverage. But at this point, this is covered. There's nothing wrong with what you're seeing here. Doesn't make a play, and it allows for huge yards after catch. Again, this is another third down. If you just can catch tackle right here, he's right at the sticks. So it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. He's right at the 6. At worst case, you got 1st and 10 from the 36 if you tackle him and he falls forward. Instead, huge yards after catch gets them in plus territory. Guys are missing tackles again. Missing your one-on-ones.
I know that you'll say you're responsible being rightly so. Everybody runs it, Tom. But Cal has shown a propensity to like mesh. So you're going to get tested on it again this weekend.
Absolutely. Here's a 3rd and 14. On this one, you're going to actually get a 5-man pressure. You're playing man free. So there's, everybody is matched up in one-on-ones. And then this middle safety is going to be your helper.
Yep.
You get an in-breaking route.
Yeah.
The help doesn't show up. And the man defender is beat by, 2.5 yards. There's, and the reason why you're bringing pressure, the reason why you're running this scheme is, you haven't been able to get. I showed the pass rush with 4 earlier, and you're unable to get the pressure with 4, so you try to bring 5. Leaves a little bit, leaves a couple more voids underneath open, and you get a catch for a first down here.
Isn't that a play, real quick, just to go back for the safety's perspective? If you're a ball hawk, don't you want that opportunity? You got a chance to undercut that in-breaking route over the middle, or what?
Yeah, you're in a really good position here, to make a play. Especially because your deepest threat is the guy that's running that route. So had this guy been a little bit deeper, you may think, I need to help outside. But these guys are essentially stacked. And, and so he doesn't need to help anywhere else. There's only one place for him to help. I think that it's also important to note, because when I get to offense, you'll see the difference. We're rushing 5 here. And you see the pocket for the quarterback. It's not completely clean, but he's definitely able to, step into this throw. And you'll see some instances with us on offense where a route this deep down the field at this point, there's, 4 guys that are in the quarterback's lap.
Right.
So, so that's the other thing is we're rushing 5, and there's I don't know if I'd call this pressure, but the, forcing him to move off his spot is happening way late in the possession, which allows him to drive this throw. So, you're going to need the safety to show up a little bit sooner on the help here. I'm going to show this from the tight copy. So this was a situation where, again, you're having a little bit of trouble up front. So you try to scheme it up and you run a game where a stunt up front. So the stunt is sending here. You're going to send your 1 technique. It's going to just move to what a 3 technique would be. He's slanting, and you're going to, essentially run blitz your Mike backer into the A gap, and then your number 24 here is going to replace him right here. Now, So now you're canceled out. All these gaps are canceled. Number 11 has the quarterback. The problem is number 10 is not disciplined to his assignment. He has to fall back into this gap. He doesn't do it. The ball carrier finds it, and 10 is going the opposite direction.
Oh, that's something that's on repeat. I think Louis Riddick got tired of talking about that because he's a pretty good analyst, Dominic, in terms of on the fly all 22 stuff and responsibilities. He got tired of miscommunications and or getting out of their gaps. He's like, I'm a broken record, guys, but this is what it's been for Florida State this season.
That's exactly what it is. Right here, 10 needs to rock back when he sees this split flow action. So the Y, this is the Y here. As he comes back to block right here, 10 needs to fit inside of him because 11 is going to fit outside of him.
Right.
And he tries to go outside. So now you have two outside the ball, which you should never have. And if he was where he was supposed to be, the ball carrier sees 24, he cuts back, and there's your tackle.
So
this was, again, this is, this was less, a one-on-one getting beat. This is more just a one guy being out of his gap, not having gap discipline there.
And for us lay people, this is split zone. That's the concept there, the run.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. This is something that Cal also runs a ton of. So he tested on this.
Yep. Absolutely. So it's not all bad. Here is an example of just so you guys can see what it looks like when you win a one-on-one. And this is what it looks like. And unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot of this, but it is there. There's knockback. There's penetration. And honestly, there's a couple guys winning here. 90, the other tackle is winning here too. There's a lot of strike, a lot of knockback. Gaps are being penetrated. But I mean, this is a great individual effort here by number 6. Knockback, tackle for 1 yard gain, 1.5 yard gain here. We'll watch the tight copy. We're just not seeing this consistently. You'd like to see the same thing right there with number 11, or at least a little bit more. He's getting displaced out of his gap, and you see right here he peeks his head inside. But we're gonna highlight the good here. This is great, great knockback by 6, and a great individual effort. Now we'll move on to the offense. So this is the second play of the game.
This is after first play of the game. They run straight ahead, Dominic, which I thought this game begged for because they've got a 3-man front. They're undersized at Memphis. They gain 6 yards, 8 yards. They drive the defensive line back. So you're starting to feel like, okay, maybe they'll just go hat on hat and straight ahead. But what happens here?
The first play of the game was very indicative of what we all thought, I think, the game was going to look like.
Yep.
They absolutely blew him off the ball. Great run on first down, which we hadn't had. And to follow that up with this was very disheartening. So what you have here is they're just running a zone play, and there's one unblocked guy. So on zone, you're going to block all the down linemen, and you're going to climb to these linebackers. So this this safety, who's down here because you're in 12 personnel. So, and I'm going to go back to the wide just so that we can see. This was the thing that was super disheartening. This isn't a great picture because this safety does look like he's helping a little bit here. As the game went on, it became just straight, mano y mano. And this guy was down in here.
Yep.
And they were bringing 6-man pressures, and they literally had zero fear of the wideouts doing anything explosive. And that was, I think, Coach Norvell's answer from last week when I said, will he go condensed formations to take shots? They came out in more 12 personnel this week, and I think to see if they could get some one-on-ones out wide and some easy throws, and they got those one-on-ones, and they just didn't win. But that's the unblocked guy. So I wanted to show the secondary so that I could show the one-on-ones, but all you have here is just the unblocked guy. And again, it's like it's the antithesis of the play that I showed with our guy that was unblocked. Look at the difference. This guy's unblocked, puts his helmet on the football. Our guy's unblocked and doesn't touch the ball carrier, and it ends up being, a huge first down for them. Again, winning your one-on-ones, and the unblocked guy is absolutely got to make the play. Show this from the tight. So right here, this is also a zone scheme. What happens is 75 can't reach they came out in a bare front, so that means that you're covering both guards and the center. Mm-hmm. So because they're in the bare, the tackle is going to block down, and so it works sort of like a pin and pull between these two. It's just a combo between these two. Hey, I can't reach him, so you block him, and then I'll go block your guy. But 74 doesn't do a good job blocking down, and they penetrate the zone. So then that makes it bounce. It also keeps 53 from working up to that backer. So now 48 has to block that backer, and the ball has to bounce. And then 75 also misses his block. So a lot of guys losing their one-on-ones here. 53 can't work up, so that guy crosses his face, which he's not supposed to cross his face. 75, gets beat with quickness.
So it seems like there are 2 or 3 ways that could have been a medium gain or a big gain, and none of them worked. None of them gave the opportunity for it to work.
Yeah, exactly. You had exactly what you needed from a scheme standpoint, but guys just aren't executing their jobs there. So here's these next 3 plays, I believe, are screens where again, you're getting the exact look that you want. I know this is Coach Norvell's losing sleep over these because these are exactly how you practiced them. They're actually probably better looks than you practiced. You got exactly what you wanted here. You have a 2-on-1 or 3-on. Really, it's a 3-on-2. We've got 3 guys for their 2. One guy's the ball carrier, so you could say it's a 2-on-2 with the ball carrier. Look at all that grass. Everything is great. The ball is more than halfway there to him already. At this point, if you just showed me this freeze frame, I'd be putting my hands up in the air.
Yep, there it is, yeah.
And instead, it's a -1.
Is there a reason he breaks back towards the quarterback there? Is that poor on his part as well, beyond just the blockers?
To me, absolutely. That is not. So this is a perimeter screen. Mm-hmm. This is not a tunnel screen. The way that I know that is they're blocking zone. So this is triple option. DJ has the option to run this ball.
Yep.
So this is not a tunnel screen that's meant to hit back out here. A tunnel screen would have a tackle, or a guard that's releasing out to kick out guys so that you can run in the tunnel. Mm-hmm. So this is a perimeter screen. So this is supposed to hit somewhere out here. Yeah. I say, between the numbers, and probably split between the numbers and here, and maybe even outside if you can get hooked, which that's actually what happens. The corner jumps inside.
Right.
If he hits the sideline here, he's gone. And he just keeps running inside. Even if he just makes a move here and then goes back out. But again, this is what I'm talking about is the players, the guys that are being dependent on to make plays are just not doing it. Because this is schemed up really well. At this point, you got everything you want. 86 has got to do a better job blocking here. But even with what he did, 10 still had a chance to make a play. even with the poor block. Just go go to the opposite, opposite the color, the white jersey, go opposite. He went where there were 4 other white jerseys,
Right.
and there's 2 garnet jerseys out here that are trying to, help you.
Well, and this isn't a new wrinkle. This is something they run all the time. They ran it as far back. I remember this exact same play because Jordan ran it, but in the showcase with DJ, they ran it back in the spring. So this is not something that they installed for Memphis and they just got caught up in the moment. It's just Mike Norvell called it day one stuff. This is really kind of day one stuff in their offense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's another wide receiver screen. Just completely miscommunicating blocks. Now, this is a first down play that you gain 3, I believe, 3 or 4, which is the goal. The problem is, for me, this is your guy, number 8. He's supposed to be your big play guy. You don't go to him for 4, on first down here. And if you just, if you get one block, right there on the safety, you get an alley and you've got yourself 7 with a fall forward, and now you're in the, down and distance that you love. And we're just not good enough to be in a lot of 2nd and 7s, unfortunately. And that's exactly what's happening is we've been so poor on first down that 2nd and 7's not even a good, position to be in anymore. And here, I believe, is the last wide receiver screen. Again, I just want to show you the box. This is one-on-one out here. You make one block. They're both playing off coverage. They're flat foot, but they're both off. You've got what you want. Just catch the ball, fall forward. Again, it's number 8. That's your guy. He's your playmaker.
Ole.
And 21, doesn't do his job good enough. And number 8 doesn't make someone miss. So because of the lack of winning one-on-ones, Coach Norvell starts to go to a stack. This is something that showed up in the past, the year before, we had the Keon Colemans and the Johnnies. This is a formation that I think he likes. Saw it a lot at Memphis. But it's essentially, I don't want to say it's a give up, but it's very much my guys can't win one-on-ones. When you start seeing stacks like this, that means my guys can't line up and win. I'm trying to get some off coverage, or I'm dictating one of these guys has to be off. I can't get press across the board or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I can work switch releases and, get rubs and things like that. This is a really simple, proposition for the wide receiver. You block the most dangerous guy. The most dangerous guy is right in front of you. He just absolutely does nothing.
Gets a guy hurt too. There's an injury on that play, on that hit.
So now we're looking at up front. So here's sort of what I was talking about earlier. We rushed 5 and it took us, probably 2.7. These guys are rushing 4, and you see the right tackle here, the right defensive tackle is in DJ's lap quickly, and also the left defensive tackle. So they've got a vice on him pretty good to where he can't even, there's nowhere for him to maneuver. This is very similar to the dig that we watched, Memphis complete, but the quarterback had enough space to maneuver and get the ball out, where on this one, both the offensive center and I guess it would be the right tackle lose their one-on-one way too quickly.
Is that a communication thing, or is that just straight up losing a one-on-one? Is there anything to it?
Yeah, I would say because they are running a stunt, there is a little bit of the mental preparation that goes into that, and communicating and sorting it out, which the high school that I coach at, we actually call this protection sort. Because you are having to sort out the stunt. But there's also a level of physicality, at this point that you got to have in order to win that. And you could see, 93's winning that, and this guy 92, I think, is about to win his in terms of the physicality of it.
So we'll go with all of the above.
Yeah. Here's one of the rare times that Memphis actually played a zone. And again, I tend to, I think, probably sound like a DJU apologist or defender, but he's certainly not Jordan Travis. The guy's not. He's not Michael Vick. He's not Randall Cunningham, but he's athletic enough and moves well enough in the pocket. He maneuvers the pocket really well. He's not going to run out in the open field. It's just not going to happen. I still think there's something wrong with him.
Yep.
His lower body. I don't know that if they're disclosing it, but it doesn't look the same as it's looked in the past.
They are not, just very quickly, they are not disclosing it, but what I can tell you is it looks different than it did in the camps too. So
it looks different. Yeah, it definitely looks different. And it looks different from everything that I've seen, going back to, from freshman year on. But he's still able to maneuver in the pocket well. They're only rushing 4 here. They're running a stunt. The guys actually pick it up pretty well. This guy comes free late, but DJ maneuvers. Again, like I said, you're getting zone coverage for the one very rare time, and you've got a great concept called. This has nothing to do with coaching. This has nothing to do with poor quarterback play. This is just not a play. And this is 3rd and 10. It's just, you have to win 3rd downs. And a lot of your 3rd downs are when you get your one-on-ones. You got to win your 3rd downs. If you don't win 3rd downs in red zone, you're on target to be a bad team, essentially, is the truth. Here's another 3rd down screen. Ball on the ground. 3rd and short. You don't win 3rd downs, you don't win the game. So here was one down in the red zone that I actually froze it at a point that everybody's winning here, actually. And so then I circled the quarterback. He should be throwing this ball instead of escaping here. And this might be a little bit of, when things happen early and you're getting pressure early, you start, and it's a goal of ours on defense is to bring the quarterback's eyes down. How quickly can we get him to bring his eyes down? And the sooner he brings his eyes down, the more we can now sort of circle in on the space where he is, because we don't have to worry about him throwing the football anymore, and this was one of the few clips, maybe the only clip that I found where really anybody was open.
Right.
Or was winning a one-on-one. And this was all 4 of them, actually. To me, all 4 of these guys are open. This guy's in a chase mode, reaching. He's got leverage on him inside. He's got leverage on him. He's in between the quarterback and him, and he is breaking away, and he's in between the quarterback and him. So, I wanted to bring this up because this is guys actually win their one-on-ones, but everything that could go wrong goes wrong. And the one guy that we need to realize that the one-on-ones are being won has his eyes down and isn't ready to throw the football.
Seeing ghosts.
Ends up being a sack and probably a holding call. And that's another 3rd down here. Yeah, right now he should be delivering the football. Maybe now. There's a pocket there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here I think it's the last one. It's late in the game. Game is in hand for Memphis, but I just thought it was a really good example of kind of how everything that could go wrong does. You get good protection. They actually rush 5 here, 6. They add a guy, but you're clearly protected. Throws a great ball. Great concept called. And that's a linebacker that he's going against. You just got to make a play. It's just that simple. And just like I showed on defense, it's not all bad. This was I brought up last week. I thought that this would be a consistent concept that we would see, just sprint out. DJ seems to just throw darts on these, and this is a dart. A guy winning on his out route, holding that leverage, getting 2 feet in, everything's good there. This is a really good positive play. It's protected well. It watch 24 here on the edge, does a phenomenal job making that linebacker go inside of him. The second that he goes inside, we know we're good. We're protected. DJ can get outside of him. He has space if he needs to run it. And then you got leverage there on the out, 2 feet in. That's good football. But there's not a lot of that. No. And we're going to need more of it, obviously. It's the only way that you can win football games. You got to win your one-on-ones, and a lot of them are happening on third down, and like I've said a million times, if you don't win third down in red zone, you don't win the game. It's just the way it goes, especially if you turn it over on the second possession of the game.
Well, and it just feels like, just watching it, Dominic, but I'm sure you've lived this too. Some years are lean, some years it's just everything that you do goes right. Everything looks so hard. Like everything looks like it's so hard just to get up, just to get ahead. And, when you're in a moment like that, what's the way out? Have you been in a situation where you've been in a rut and then you guys break out of it? Is it just one guy makes a play and then it gets contagious? How does it happen?
Yeah, I will tell you, man. And I think I've said it here that it is absolutely contagious. Drops are contagious just as well as, plays are contagious. And honestly, that's literally what the coaches are doing consistently when they're sitting down in their meetings. They're going, who can make a play? And then what can we do to put that guy in those positions? And they're trying to find it. And like I said, I think Coach Norvell's done a really good job. I just showed 19 plays, 12 of them of offense. If you want to call the defensive plays for Coach Fuller, but there's 12 on offense where the scheme is there, the plays are there, the opportunities are there for playmakers to make plays, and they haven't done it. So, that's what you hope for. That's what you just keep trying to find, whether that's somebody who hasn't played yet. We talked about possibly playing I guess there's a freshman quarterback. That's athletic and maybe can move around, whatever it is, you're trying to find. And at this point, you're probably throwing darts at a board, hoping something sticks because you've tried everything. And honestly, you haven't had a bad plan. None of these games I've looked at, I've thought, oh, this is a poor plan. These are good plans that just aren't being executed, which, I guess some may ask, well, is that a poor plan then if the guys can't execute it?
Right.
So, you kind of, it's chicken or the egg argument,
Well, we want to stop arguing about chickens and eggs and start talking about W's. Florida State could help us in this feature next week with Dominic Robinson if they start winning some of these plays, because then, like when we were kids, Dominic, that's when you get the smiley face sticker on your test. Maybe the scratch and sniff one that smelled like strawberries. You got to have that, because right now it's a whole lot of see me after class. That's what's on the grading scale right now on the exam. But one-on-ones need to be won. And, of course, it can start this weekend against Cal. He's Dominic Robinson, always breaking down things for us on Warchant TV, on warchant.com. We appreciate his insights, and we will come back to you next week right here on Warchant TV with more X's and O's with our guy, Dominic Robinson. Good luck in your rivalry game tonight, Dominic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go Noles.